I spent 7 years managing a $100 million portfolio for a real estate company that generated over $14 million per year. But back in August 2025, I discovered a better and barely untapped real estate market. One that doesn't require you to own a single property. And it carries literally zero risk because there's not any loans involved. What is this untapped real estate market? It's called luxury villa management. I'll explain it later in this video, but it's basically just helping homeowners rent out their villas. I see it as a superior version to Airbnb management, but with way less issues and way more upside. In fact, within the first 7 months of doing this on my own, I've been able to generate over $1.1 million in revenue with up to 30% profit margins for literally 4 hours a day. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the entire business model and the exact 4-pillar strategy that allowed me to make over $30,000 a month in profit as a complete beginner, so you can do the same. Now, it all boils down to these 4 pillars: learning how luxury villa management works, finding villas worth managing, getting homeowners to let you manage the rentals for them, and optimizing for rentals. But the key to making millions in revenue as fast as possible actually comes down to pillar number 4. Because you will literally do all this work for nothing if you can't get bookings. But soon you'll know how to start and scale this business model in the most efficient way possible. But like I said, this is the exact 4-pillar strategy that allowed me to generate over $1.1 million in revenue as a complete beginner. By the way, if you want to just copy and paste every single one of my processes and systems to speed up the process of you making as much money as possible with this, click the link below to learn more. Anyway, let's get into it. So let me tell you why luxury villa management exists. Most of you have probably never been inside a mansion, let alone a villa. There is a lot of moving parts in here. There's stuff to do with the kitchen, there's stuff to do with the backyard, the pool equipment, the landscaping, all these different types of components that make up a house, and it's impossible for a homeowner to keep up with it and to keep up with their regular lives. When you go inside an apartment building, there's also a property management company that takes care of the apartment building, whether it's an elevator that's out or pure maintenance of the property itself. That all falls under the management company. Same thing with homes. So the idea behind this is that you go after homeowners that have their homes that are just sitting there, preferably second or third homes, and you manage the home for them for a percentage of bookings. Now, most homeowners do not want bookings. Most homeowners just want simply a manager, which is fine too. But that's not how we make the millions of dollars. Managers max get paid $5,000 a month, and that is not what we want to do. So this is how luxury villa management works. Basically, you manage homes for rich homeowners. Homes have a lot of components. They have the pool, the landscaping, the AC units, the kitchen. There's different stuff all over the kitchen. There's different maintenance people for different things. If the home has a gas line, then there's a gas company that needs to fill up the gas line. There's a lot of components inside a home. So that's why villa management exists in this case. But we're gonna take it a step further. We're going to manage homes for free, technically for a percentage split of revenue that comes from bookings. Now, why would a homeowner want to do bookings inside their home? Well, the home is sitting empty for the most part. You're looking after homes that are second or third homes for that homeowner. And you pitch to them that you want to generate for them revenue for that home that's sitting. And at the same time, they have a free property manager, someone that takes care of the property and someone that's also generating them revenue. Sounds too good to be true, right? That's why it's not. These are only one of the things that aren't too good to be true because it is real. Now, the idea is that you take care of everything from A to Z. You take care of the check-in process all the way to the checkout process, to the post-checkout process, all the way to the next check-in. So you do take care of the property as a whole. Owners love this because they have a free manager, and also that manager is making them money. Now, how does this differ from Airbnb arbitrage? Airbnb arbitrage in the one side is you're finding homes that have their house listed for rent, and you're pushing them to let you rent it and sublease it at the same time. Most homeowners aren't okay with that, and I'll tell you why. When you're renting to someone, you want to make sure that that someone is actually who they say they are. So when you're signing a lease, most homeowners aren't okay with that person signed on the lease to lease it again to someone else. So Most of them that are okay with it, they will charge extra because most homeowners know how much revenue Airbnb can make. They all hear about it, they all see it, they don't have the time to do it. So usually with Airbnb arbitrage is you'll find a house for, let's say, $10,000 a month listed online on Zillow or something, and you'll reach out to that homeowner and you'll say, hey, I want to rent out your house, but I also want to do short-term rentals with it. Do you allow subleasing? Most will say no. Others will say, yes, I do allow subleasing, but the price will now be $15,000 a month, something like that. Okay, now let's say that you're ready to go at $15,000 a month and you have a brand new 5-bedroom home that's ready to go. You have to first put first, last, and security down. So you're coming out of pocket $45,000 on the get without even doing anything. That's just to sign the lease. Now, not to mention that you need to furnish the place. Now, how much does furniture cost? Let's be realistic. You're furnishing a 5-bedroom home at $2,000 a bedroom minimum. That's $10,000 right there. Then let's say another $10,000 for the living room. That's $20,000 right there. Then you want kitchen items. That's another $2,000. Let's say that you need bed sheets and linens. That's another $2,000. Let's just say that you're coming out of pocket $65,000, including the lease. You're coming out of pocket $65,000 for a 5-bedroom home. Now, how much could you rent out a 5-bedroom home? Max, $1,000 a night. Let's say it's in a good location, $2,000 a night. Do you know how much money or how many reservations you have to make in order to even break even? Now, let's add another piece of stress onto you. Let's say that you don't break even on your first month because you already paid your first month, you're still okay. But now, second month, you're trying to catch up to the first month. You're playing catch up because every single month, whether you make or don't make money, you still have to owe $15,000, which is absolutely insane. Now, villa management on the other side is forget all the Airbnb arbitrage, forget all putting money up front or anything like that. I want to be partners with you. You know how much money Airbnb can make. I know how much money Airbnb can make. You have a house that's sitting empty, and now I'm pitching to you that you're gonna have a free manager. What do you think the homeowner is going to say? No, hell no, why would I do that? Give me a month. It doesn't cost you anything. You're going to be pitching luxury homeowners, but don't worry, I'll show you exactly what to say later in this video. So where do you find good villas, or what villas are worth managing? You want to find something that I would say you would vacation in yourself. Maybe you actually don't have good taste, so I will explain it even further. You want to manage something with as many bedrooms as possible, because more beds equals more heads equals more money. So the more people that you could sleep inside the property, the more that you could charge for the property as a whole, because most people come in groups split it. They like staying in different spots like that. Now, most people that do come in groups, they way rather pick an Airbnb with a bigger size home so they could fit all their friends and family inside that one home. So it works out better when you sleep a lot more people. Now, you also want to pick homes that are in hot locations. For example, in Miami, you want to pick somewhere that's in the vicinity to, let's say, Brickell, South Beach, downtown, this vicinity, Wynwood, something like that. Or let's say that you're in Fort Lauderdale, you want to be close to the beach, you want to be close to La Sola Strip. Or let's say that you're in Los Angeles, you want to be close to Beverly Hills, you want to be close to Rodeo Drive, stuff like that. Let's say that you do it in New York, you want to be close to where the tourists are. If you go to a location and you see that the location has many hotels, you want to be as close as possible to those hotels, because the hotels know something that you don't. They did their research and they know that this is a hot location and a lot of people come to this location. I'll also give you an example of places abroad. You want a place in Saint-Tropez, for example. You want a place close to the village because most people pay the closer you get to the village. So basically you just want to be in the complete hot zone, different locations, different hot destinations. What's a hot destination? Simply Google it. What is a hot destination? Where do people travel to? That is exactly where you want to be. An easiest thing that I would follow if you want the real boohoo bucks is follow the billionaire schedule. Google it, you'll see that the billionaire schedule involves Miami, Saint-Tropez, Aspen, all these different types of spots that each billionaire stays at in different parts of the year. Now, what makes a good or bad villa? A good villa will have different amenities. It will have things to do. It would be in a good location. It would have something that's like a hot pick in different cities. For example, in Miami, you want a house that's waterfront. In LA, you want a house on the hills. In Aspen, you want something that's ski in, ski out. In Saint-Tropez, you want something that's walkable to town or short driving distance to town. You want stuff like that. You want like a very good location like that. And also you want the house to have different amenities like a pool table or a golf simulator or a sauna or a jacuzzi or a pool, stuff like that that makes a good or bad house. You also want a house that's not run down. You want a house that's fairly new, and it also doesn't require that much work on your end because it has everything that it basically needs. You want a house that was already taken care of, that you could easily take care of it either better or just keep it the same. Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't stay somewhere that's old if you're spending this kind of money. Pitching homeowners, well, first, how do you find homeowners? Well, the easiest way to find homeowners is actually word of mouth. Second easiest way is via the realtors. And third easiest way is Zillow to find the homeowners directly. Now, I'm gonna explain every single one of those. Word of mouth is you start going around and you start telling people that you do luxury villa management now, and if they know of any homeowners that they will introduce you to, and you will cut them a percentage or a finder's fee or something like that. Second way is realtors. They could be your best friend or they could be your enemy. They could either show you so many homeowners and love you so much and give you so much business, or they could say that you're horrible and that they will never work with you ever again. I have some realtors that I work with that they will give me so many homes and I will always take care of them every single time. On the other hand, I have other realtors that I don't really work with because they think that I'm out there to try to take their job. I'm in Miami right now. You do not need a real estate license in order to do short-term rentals. So most realtors do not understand that. So they always think that I'm trying to get their job. But if you find some realtors that you're actually good with, then stick with them because they will preach for you and they'll show you to so many homeowners if you start cutting them a piece of every single deal, obviously. Then we come to Zillow. Zillow is how I actually find most of my homeowners that are not connected to a realtor or someone that I know. First, I would go on Zillow and find properties that are listed for sale or for long-term rents. Then I would take that address and Google search it on a property tax public record website. It's all public record for property taxes. I would put the address on a public record website like for property tax search, and then I would find the homeowner's name. Most of these villa owners are under an LLC. If I do not get the homeowner's name right then and there, then I will take the LLC, then Google search that and find the homeowner's name on that. Then I take the homeowner's name and put it in a skip tracing website and look up the phone number of that homeowner. Now, I do not do that one at a time. I will skip trace probably 50 to 70 people. There's people on Fiverr that you could hire that will skip trace an entire zip code for you. It's just a matter of how many phone numbers you're actually calling. Now with pitching these homeowners, it's fairly simple. All you wanna do is say that you have an opportunity for them that they're not going to wanna miss. You can manage someone's house for a revenue split at no cost to them. Sounds too good to be true? Let me explain a little more. When I pitch to homeowners, I try to do it very slowly because most of them do not understand this new business model. What I usually say to homeowners is, hi, I see that you have a house listed online at the address, whatever, beautiful house. By the way, I see it's listed for sale or for rent. By the way, before you hang up, I'm not a real estate agent. I have another opportunity to offer you. I'm offering to you luxury villa management for free. I'll manage your house for free, and I will make revenue with your property while it sits for a sale or for rent. Now, why would I want to do that? That's what the homeowners would say. No, I don't want to do that. Why would I want random people inside the house? Sir, your house is sitting on the market. I can see that it's been on the market for, let's say, 60 days. This is not going to mess with any of your showings. I work around all your showings. You're going to start making money with the property that's just sitting there. Now, most of them are not going to be okay with it. They're going to push back and stuff like that, which is completely normal. But at the end of the day, you're giving to them an opportunity that will actually make them a lot of money. And in my case, from what I saw, I have this one homeowner that had his home listed on the market for sale, and it was listed on the market for 180 days. I called him probably 2 months after his house was listed online, and I started renting out his house. After the month that I started working with him, he made over $120,000, and then he took the house off the market and he started running it with me long term. Long term meaning he started giving it to me and I was working on that house for multiple months. And until this day, I've made him over $430,000 in revenue. And he is so happy. He's about to buy another home just to do this. Something that I would do differently compared to what I did in the beginning is simplify everything. It's not that complicated. All you have to do is tell the homeowner, look, you have a house that's listed for sale or for rent, and I do management for homes like that. You're getting a free manager, and at the same time, I'm making you revenue with the property that's just sitting there collecting dust. What doesn't make sense to that? No, if I don't want property, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. Sir, ma'am, whatever you are, just give me a month. I will 100% turn your opinion around, and that usually works. I do a month trial, and then after that month, they end up either taking their property off the market or selling the property and then buying another property specifically just to do this. Now, after you got a homeowner to say yes, it's game time. Now you actually have to deliver on your promise. So what I do is I take that property and put in multiple different OTAs. OTA stands for Online Travel Agency. Now, what's an OTA? Airbnb, VRBO, HomeAway, Booking.com, Hopper. Those are all different types of OTAs that you would have your property on. Now, they're all synced through an iCal link, so the calendar gets blocked as it's blocked on different platforms. So the way to optimize for listings is Airbnb, VRBO, all these different platforms love it when you select every single thing inside the listing. Most people don't realize when you make a new listing, it unchecks almost 90% of the options. So it doesn't say that your property has any forks, knives. It doesn't say that your property has a kitchen, smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector. There's a lot of different things that it doesn't check off automatically. In my opinion, it should, but it doesn't. But you want to basically make your listing look as full as possible. You want to take the best pictures because the pictures is what sells everything. The pictures is what puts your listing, and it's the first impression. When they say picture is worth 1,000 words, think over here that pictures are worth $1 million, because it actually is. You can make $1 million with that picture. So the cover picture is supposed to be absolutely insane. It's supposed to stand out over any other property. And at the same time, your listing title shouldn't be in all caps. This is not Craigslist. This is a luxury villa. So you want to have a title kind of like Villa Amani, basketball, pool, ping pong, if it has a ping pong table or if it has any of that. So it would be the title of the villa, whatever you call it, and then the amenities that that home has. That's it. You do not need large groups, anything like that inside the bio. They could see that it has 16 bedrooms, so it does not need to say large groups welcome. Does not need to do that. After you do that, OTAs love it when you answer as quickly as possible. So for example, Airbnb likes it when you answer within 2 minutes, which is absolutely insane, but 2 minutes is what they usually go for. And they actually reward people that answer the quickest. So what I would do is I would answer as quickly as possible. At the same time, when you're first optimizing for a listing, your listing is brand new. There's no reviews and you probably just made your brand new account. So what I do is I add a little thing in the description and say new to Airbnb, not new to short-term rentals, or not new to rentals, something like that, something that indicates to the guest that you are not new at what you do. And at the same time, I would add a little discount on the listing. So Airbnb has this beautiful thing that in the first 3 reservations, the people get 20% off. So that works out because you actually want a flow of bookings coming in, and at the same time, you also want reviews. You want reviews for the house so the listing does not look empty. So you want to fill up the listing as much as possible, come up with a title, have a banger cover photo, and you also want to have reviews. So these are the different things that you should look for when you're optimizing a listing. And at the same time, you also want the pricing strategy, because pricing is what makes it significant. You want to look up what other properties have in the area. You want to see what they're priced at. You want to see why they're priced there. You want to see if they're waterfront, they're priced at X, but they only have 4 bedrooms. But I have a 5-bedroom home that's not waterfront, but I also have a pool table and I also sleep 15 people. So I would charge probably more than the waterfront property. That's different stuff that you would look for. Just look around, see what other people are doing, and it all works out. Do not do the smart pricing on Airbnb. That was my #1 mistake when I first got started. Airbnb wants more bookings. They obviously are a platform that have many properties, and they live off of bookings. So obviously smart pricing is going to give you the lowest dollar amount possible, because they don't care how much your property goes for. They just want to make money and they're looking for volume. But you only have 1 property at this point, so you need more money over volume. So obviously this is a lot to handle if you do not have the proper systems and processes in place. So if you want to copy my exact systems and processes to speed up the process of you making as much money as possible, click the link below to learn more. But for now, click the like and subscribe button because it helps me keep going. But for now, take care.